Hey everyone, this is Jenny Garcia. In this video, I am going to use products from the Shop, and mostly I'm going to use the May 365 documented kit. And I'm also going to use some pieces from April. Right now I'm going through my journaling cards, and I also turn a few of the pattern papers into journaling cards just by switching the size. And I went into my little April stash to see if I could find some papers to fill those gaps in this spread. And I'm gonna start with my title card. I love making title cards, and this one is for a week. It's actually a 2-week spread. So I'm gonna use this, which is, I believe, is a pattern paper that I probably turned into a 4x6 card, although I'm not sure because I also did that with 3x4. And I'm gonna use my Studio Calico roller stamp to stamp the dates on these labels, which come in the digital items. And this was 2001, and in 2001 I moved into the house that I live now, and I was documenting some changes. We got a deck. I also took some pictures in the back when the trail wasn't there, and we have a new fence. So it's nice when you move into a new place to start documenting things as they change and grow little by little. I love those flowers, and I printed quite a few of them, but then I saw that Natalie de Souza did like a spread with one of those flowers like really big, and I'm like, oh my god, why didn't I think about printing those flowers super big? Mostly because I think in project life mode, so all the items tend to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to use those labels from Studio Calico, which went perfect with the collection. And the numbers are from Simple Stories. I don't know if they make these sheets anymore where they have the numbers. I think it was one of those Snap really simple collections, and the sticker pack, it was all numbers, all with solid colors. It was really pretty. It's one of my favorites. It's a really good font, and I still keep those because what I did with those was break them apart and put them in my embellishment drawers. I am using these old alphas from October Afternoon. These were packs that had 2 of them per color. So I also have some little square ones that came with that, but I do love this cursive font. Well, it's not cursive, it's more like lettering. And the bees are back. I'm gonna use the bees from this little Pipsticks sticker sheet, I believe it's called Little Bees and Bugs. And a lot of them sell out real fast, so I don't know if they're still available. But even though it has very springy colors, and there was a lot of talk about plants, and it is the May collection, so I'm pretty sure that it was meant to be used for spring. But the colors just match these pages from June and July, so that's what I used them. And I also documented a bunch of plants that week that are now dead. A moment of silence for all the plants I've killed. I'm sorry, plants, I tried my best. This is going to be like a title card next to some photos of... We used to have some plants. My daughter had this project at school of growing cucumbers, and one of them you have to give it sunlight and water, and the other one you could only give water but no sunlight, the other one sunlight but no water, and one where you would not give it either sun or water. So this is how the plants later grew. After we were done with the project for school, we decided to give all of them water and sunlight, and they grew, but then they died. They were doing so well. And I was going to use also these sticker sheets to write cucumber, but it didn't fit that well. It didn't really look good. So I'm going to start doing it, but then I am going to switch the font. And it probably looked fine now that I looked at it. So I'm going to use these sticker alphas from Pretty Little Studio, and I ended up using 2 sheets. I wanted to add something at the bottom so it just didn't have that blank space. So I'm gonna look through the die cuts that I have. I did a lot of hearts from, which are an element from that digital collection, but I also took a card, a 3x4 card, and used my lawn fawn dies to get like extra little hearts and stars. I'm using my quick pick tool to be able to grab really tiny pieces and put some glue on them. So yeah, poor cucumbers, I feel bad. We never tasted a cucumber. It never gave us a cucumber. We didn't deserve it, apparently. But they were really cute. And honestly, I'm kind of tempted, now that I look at these photos, you know, to go bite some seeds and maybe they'll grow, because we also had flowers for a little while and then they die, so it's really tricky. And I'm using this sticker book, which goes perfectly with both the April and May collection, and maybe even the June one. The June one is already available. You can get it. And actually, if you get a collection, for example, right now, if you get the June collection, you save $2. It's a little bit cheaper. And you can like mix the months, and it's not a big deal. Actually, they look quite good. So I'm using the Simple Stories sticker book because the colors match the collection, and it's also a spring sort of related sticker book. So this is a picture I took from my window while they were making the deck. And then I took another photo that you're going to see later. So I use WIP, which means work in progress. And they were really fast too. And the washi tape that I have in this rhino is the washi tape that I picked for this collection. And I also had some on the side. By the way, I just did a birthday kit and I can't wait to show it to you. And I picked so many items, especially washi tape. I had like 2 big rings because I like to put my washi when I'm not using it, and binder rings. And usually I use a 2-inch binder ring, and this collection has 2 3-inch binder rings, so it's a lot, but I love how it turned out. And I love the little word stickers. Simple Stories has always done a great job, and I honestly believe that they were one of the people who like made them popular, because in their collections they always had in their sticker packs, they always had a page that had little word stickers or phrases, and then they started adding colors and patterns and stuff like that. And this is how the deck turned out. Now there's furniture there. So again, things keep changing all the time. And I mix the fonts, which is something that I'm loving lately, using different fonts for one title. And the blue ones are from Studio Calico. They're older, but Studio Calico does really good with their color theory alphas. They always have cute fonts. However, as I always complain, there is no numbers in these, which kind of sucks. But oh, I saw sneaks of the June kit, and it looks so cute, which I'm excited about because May was not my favorite. Now here, this is my backyard, and now lots of things are different here. This is one of my favorite spots in my house. I don't have a front porch. I didn't want one. I'm pretty antisocial, and I don't want to sit in the front, but I do love sitting on the back, and this is the back view, and which with each season the trees change and everything looks so pretty. Even in winter where lots of things are dead, it's awesome to sit there and just watch. And if it's not too hot, I like to sit in the back and read, or not too sunny. So, you know, there's very specific hours and times where I can do that. And I use this die cut that says "Living Our Best Life," which also comes in the kit. All the little items that you see in the organizer and on my table right now are from the kit. Or if you only like journaling cards, or you only need journaling cards, you can buy the items from the kit separately. This is a picture of my daughter, and this is the last time she wore these jammies because they didn't fit anymore. And I did my little technique of framing a photo with flower die cuts. And I use actually all of my flower die cuts. If there are some things that I want to print from this collection again. I try to, because my printer consumes so much ink, I try to be like, okay, I printed this for May and I'm not printing anymore for from this kit. But I really love those flowers, so I might make an exception for those. And I layered the grow. I wanted some flowers behind the grow and on top of it, and I really like how that turned out. And this is just gonna be a filler card. I always have one extra card in case I want to journal a little bit more. Usually I'm pretty good at guessing, but this one was just meant to be a filler card. The other one with the grid paper is gonna be one of those cards that I'm like, do I use it for journaling, or I can add a photo? So I wanted to add something big in the middle, and at first I thought I was gonna use the butterfly, but I wasn't really feeling it, so I decided to grab my sticker book. Yeah, Simple Stories is killing it with their new collections. And I'm talking about a lot about collections, I don't know why. But they have one called Boho Sunshine, or Sunshine Boho, that's really cute, and it's really tempting me, but I'm gonna resist. and I just love layering things. And sometimes just using a little bit of washi can, like, in my opinion, make it look a lot better. And if you're one of those people like me who have so much washi, like, this is also a great way to use it. Because I'm honestly, I think I can wallpaper my whole house with washi tape and still have like a roll of 2 left over. I really like how that card turned out. I love that rainbow wash. So I had another of these cards that I'm using to match this photo. So that's where I got my little extra hearts and stars. And this stamp set is from Everyday Exploders, and this one is from Syncopation. I'm just gonna use the rating. This is an audiobook I listened to that year. It wasn't that good. I'm not big on romance, especially when the whole plot is romance. But it was like an easy listen. It was okay. Now I'm gonna start reading a series called Scythe, and I actually read this, the Arc of Scythe. So I read the first one already like 2 years ago, and I suggested that for my book club. I actually suggested something for Pride, but I don't think everyone was on board, so I ended up suggesting the Arc of Scythe, and there's 3 books. So I read the first one. I'm gonna read it again to remember everything that happened. And I'm excited because that was a really good book. And these little sheets I made by myself. I was just honestly doodling randomly with my Procreate on my iPad, and I did the background, and then I added the words on Photoshop, and I cut the little sheet with my silhouette. And we watched Ginny and Georgia. I haven't watched the last season. I think that when it started, I wasn't like feeling it. I have to be in the mood to watch something, or if I'm feeling anxious at the moment, I don't like to start anything new. I'd rather just rewatch, I don't know, Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Parks and Recreation. Those are my go-to. Or I watch the X-Men 92 cartoon. Those are my go-to relax, I already seen this TV shows. And I love that stamp set from Everyday Explorers, the currently, and it has everything: eating, watching, binge watching, listening. And that card is one of the pattern papers that I just made a lot smaller. Like yesterday I saw die cuts with a view pack. It was a birthday one. And since I was making that birthday kit, I was kind of feeling it, but it was 12 by 12, and I'm like, I don't use 12 by 12 that often. I like the smaller patterns, and I couldn't find it in 6 by 6 or 6 by 8. I don't think die cuts with a view does pattern papers in that size. I know they have the glitter ones because I bought those, and the burlap, but they don't have the pattern papers. And I went to Joann's yesterday to buy stuff to make a wreath. And these are things that I showed in Patreon. I do like a little vlogging of what I do with my week, especially when it comes to the stuff I'm making. So right now I'm adding the numbers because I'm gonna write my journaling in one of the cards that come in the kit that's documented. I'm using this Pretty Little Studio letter stickers to write the numbers. It's one of my favorite ways to to write my journaling. I'm not very good with long-winded paragraphs. It's very unusual for me. So I'm going to use this card and I am going to journal everything. And my camera was focusing all over the place that day. And that pen I got at Dollar Tree, and when it runs out, I'm going to be so sad because it's perfect for using a matte photo paper. Matte photo paper, you can use felt tips, or you have to be very picky with the pens that you use because sometimes they don't run too well. I might have to find a very small tip of the Pilot. I think the Pilot would work just fine. I just added a few stars and it was very simple journaling. Since I didn't need any extra space for journaling, I'm going to turn this card into a filler card, and I'm just going to layer a bunch of the die cuts. The little clouds are from the April kit. And this is also what I cut a bunch of labels. They're also really good for layering. Or you can use them to like add a little bit of journaling to one photo, or a little word sticker, or like I did in the other photo where I added the rating of the book. And this could be a regular card, like a hello card. If you're into card making, what I would change is that I would use a little bit of foam tape. I love using foam tape on my handmade cards. Not for Project Life because then it's too bulky, and my albums are also always chunky. And speaking of chunky albums, in June I'm going to start with my December daily. I keep like pushing it back. I just don't know how to get in the mood, but I want to make a very simple album for December, so I need to be ready. And this is the whole spread. That picture with the bubbles, it made no sense. It just looked pretty. One of those nonsense things that you add to Project Life. And my daughter looking at a Project Life album, it's a very meta thing. And her being silly. This is the whole layout, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them below. I'm gonna have the collection also link in the description box. I use some affiliate links. That one is an affiliate. They do help when you use them, so thank you so much to those of you who use them, and I hope you're having an awesome day. Bye.